Hey guys, what's up? SoCxOfficial here with a brand new guide about World of Warcraft. So today we have a look at the Retribution Paladin in 6.2.3 World of Warcraft patch. And yeah, first of all I just want to say thank you very much for all the views I got on YouTube for my Frosty Gay guide. And I hope you guys will enjoy this guide too. And we're gonna start with the attributes like always, so stay tuned. And yeah, have fun. Okay guys, so let's start with the attributes a Retribution Paladin should have. First of all, I want to talk about mastery of a Retribution Paladin. So your mastery just increase your Crusader Strikes, Hammer of Riders, Hammer of Wrath, Templar's Verdict, Divine Storm, and the multi-strikes deal 55.5% additional damage as holy damage. So that's very good. It's a very important stat you should have as a Retribution Paladin, because it gonna grants you additional damage as holy damage, and your multi-strikes also deal additional damage. But the thing is, as a Retribution Paladin, the damage without multi-strike just is enough. Yeah, so you don't need multi-strikes because you don't have multi-strike in this build. Like you can see here, multi-strike is at 0%, and the thing is, why it's multi-strike at 0%? The thing is, you need versatility, the new attribute in Warlords of Draenor. So versatility, increased damage and healing done by 16.48% and decreased damage taken by 8.25%. So that's very awesome and very important as a Retribution Paladin, because as a Retribution Paladin you have also damage and healing, and it's a very hybrid class. Like you can deal a lot of damage if you're gonna burst someone down in just 10 seconds like that, or you're gonna heal so much like a healer. Yeah, you can choose it. So versatility is a great attribute you use as a Retribution Paladin, because it increases your damage and your healing and decrease the damage you take. So versatility is of course the attribute we want to go with a Retribution Paladin. So the other things like are Spirit and Mastery, Haste, Critical Strike and stuff like that. So that's things that are not very important as Attribution Paladin. So our first very important attribute is versatility. That's your main attribute you should go with. And the second one is the Mastery. Like everything with Mastery, and you have the perfect sustain and the perfect combination in your Retribution class. So the other things are like we have Leech and stuff like that, but that's not, you don't have these attributes as a Retribution Paladin. So next one we go with is the gear, and the gear will just show us why it's very important to go with versatility and how we're gonna build our Retribution Paladin. So welcome back for the gear. Let's just have a look at my Retribution Paladin and how I just built my gear. So we're gonna start with the hat. So you can see it's the Warlord Season 3 item level 710 hat, the set hat with haste and mastery on it. So the thing is, we're gonna start with haste and mastery on the hat because you need a 2-set bonus. The 2-set bonus from the Retribution Paladin set is just when you cast Avenging's Wrath, the duration of all incoming crowd control effects on yourself is reduced by 25% for 15 seconds. So that's a very important thing as a Retribution Paladin, to reduce the crowd control effects of yourself, because you are now more mobility, and if you're gonna get a snare or stuff like that, you just can move faster. Like you're gonna reduce it for 25%. So as you can see, if you're on the set bonus, the 4-set bonus is Spanning Holding Power, increase your damage and healing by 2% per holy power spent for 4 seconds. that's a very, very strong ability, because you always spend Holy Power in as a Retribution Paladin. That's your main resource as a Retribution Paladin. So why we don't use it is because we need more sustain, more versatility, because versatility is gonna increase our damage and healing and decrease our damage taken. So we don't use the force bonus, because with that versatility we have in this build, we're gonna do a lot of damage plus. Like, we have a lot of damage all the time increased. So let's keep ahead with the second item, is the knack. It's also item level 710. It's critical mastery, enchanted with 75 versatility. Like, the enchant is 75 versatility, because just as I said, versatility is very important. And the knack is the mastery knack, because we need mastery. Next one are the shoulders. The shoulders are the set shoulders with 710 item level. And it's mastery on it, so mastery it's important, and we're gonna go with the shoulders because the shoulders are the second for the second set bonus. And next one we have the back. The back is with haste and mastery, enchanted with 100 versatility and 10% speed. So yeah, mastery is also like on it. We have versatility enchant, and the 10% speed is the usual stuff. Next one, we have the chest with versatility and mastery. So we can see right here, versatility and mastery is on it. So it's like the best in slot on this chest, and we gotta take it. It's very important. Next one is the wrist. It's haste and mastery, because we're gonna take mastery, and there are not other wrists in the game with versatility, so we're gonna take the mastery wrist. Next one is the haste versatility. This thing is like, we need the versatility, and there are no mastery hands in the game, so we're gonna take the versatility with it. Next one is the waist. Like, we have versatility and mastery on it, so it's again best in slot item, because we have these two attributes that we need for our build. Next one is the legs with versatility and mastery. Like you can see here, it's again versatility and mastery on it, so best slot items for this build in slot. Next one is haste versatility, because we need that versatility to take on the feet, so we're gonna take that. Next one is the 710 finger with critical and mastery, enchanted with 50 versatility. So we have mastery and versatility on this. Next one, we're gonna see the same ring with item level 700, because you can take two 710 rings with the same stats. So you can choose here if you're gonna have the other 710 finger. You're gonna need to take, I think, multi-strike and haste or stuff like that, and that's not very important attributes you need as a Retribution Paladin. So I'm gonna take the 700 item level ring for the mastery, because mastery is our second important attribute. So next one is versatility. Equipped when you deal damage, you have a chance to gain 1104 strength for 20 seconds. And the gladiator's distinction is, if you take 2 PvP trinkets, you take 15% less damage from players. So next one is the 389 strength, and if I'm gonna use the trinket, increase versatility by 1160 for 20 seconds, 1 minute cooldown. So I can use 2 damage trinkets. Like I said in my Frost Decay guide, I can use 2 damage trinkets because I'm playing the race human and I don't need a Medallion of the Alliance in my build. I also can switch these trinkets with the health trinkets, where I can increase my health when I'm gonna use it, if I need more health or more sustain against any combos in the 3S bracket. So you can easily change the trinkets, and if you play another class or not another class, but another fraction like the humans, you should of course use the medallion of the alliance or of the horde, sorry for that, and use it with versatility. I think there's a medallion with 800 versatility on it. So we have a look at the weapon we use. It's a 710 two-hand weapon, and as a Retribution Paladin you can use a one-hand and a shield, and a one-hand or a two-hand weapon, and of course as a Retribution Paladin you should use the two-hand weapon. So on the two-hand weapon we have Mastery and Critical Strike, so that's the only attributes you can use in a two-hand weapon, and it's enchanted with Mark of Bleeding Hollow. Mark of Bleeding Hollow increases our mastery. With a proc it is increasing our mastery. So there is no enchants with versatility proc, so we're gonna need to take the mastery proc. So that's it about the gear. So I think next one are the talents we have a look at, and after the talents we have a look at the glyphs you can use as a Retribution Paladin in PvP. And I hope you guys will enjoy it, so stay tuned, and yeah, let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to my Retribution guide. So next we have a look at the talents the Retribution Paladin have. So I'm gonna start with the level 15 talents. So at first we have Speed of Light. Increase your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. It has a 45-second cooldown. Next one is the Successful Judgment Long Arm of the Law. Successful Judgment increase your movement speed by 45% for 3 seconds. And the last one is increase your movement speed by 50% plus an additional 5% for each charge of Holy Power up to 3. So let's talk about the first one. It's like a 45-second cooldown, and increase my movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. That's, yeah, it's a good one if you like that. If you like to increase your movement speed in an important situation, like if you need to run from one side to the other side just very fast to kill a healer or stuff like that in the free ass bracket, or just improve your running speed like in battlegrounds and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna use it because I need to activate it. It's the first thing, yeah. I need to activate it, and it has a 45% 45-second cooldown, and that's a very long time. It's just a little bit, not like a minute, but it's far to a minute cooldown for like 8 seconds, 70% movement speed. So I don't like this talent, and I think not a lot of Retribution Paladins gonna use it. I think it's more attribute you use as a Holy Paladin or stuff like that. Let's talk about the second one. Long Arm of the Law. Successfully Judgment increase your movement speed by 45% for 3 seconds. It's like if I'm using my Judgment on a target and increase my movement speed by 45%. You just often use a Judgment. It not has a long cooldown. I'm gonna look at it like here bottom down there. Judgment has a cooldown of 5.46 second cooldown. So every 5 seconds you can boost yourself your movement speed. So it's a very good choice if you're gonna do Long Arm of the Law, long Arm of the Law. But I'm using the Pursuit of Justice. It increased my movement speed all the time by 15%. So I enchanted my my back with 10%. So I always have 25% increased movement speed all the time. And every time I'm fighting and I'm gonna build up my Holy Power, it also increases by 5% 3 times, so I can reach easily 15 additional movement speed if I have 3 Holy Power stacks. So if I had 25% and 15% plus, so I have 40% movement speed just in case all the time. Like always I'm fighting. So that's my choice, and I think there are a lot of Retribution Paladins that gonna choose Pursuit of Justice or Long Arm of the Law. That's the two talents you should choose as a Retribution Paladin. Next one is the level 40 talent. It's Fist of Justice. Stuns the target for 6 seconds to replace Hammer of Justice, and yeah, it's 30-second cooldowns and it has a 20-yard range. So it's your primary stun. There's not really a room to play with the 30 talent because you need to take Fist of Justice. Let's talk about the other talents, why you should use Fist of Justice. Next one is Repentance. It's like meditation, impactates the enemy target for 1 minute. Any damage other than cancer will awake the target. Usable against demons, dragons, giants, humanoids, and undead. So it's like a long stun, yeah, a long thing stun. It has a 15-second cooldown and a 30-yard range. So the good thing about this is like you can deal damage on the target if you're gonna stun it with Fist of Justice. If you're gonna choose this talent, you need to place it on a healer or stuff like that, which not is in your focus or not in the first way you want to deal damage on this target. Yeah, then you can use this. That's a very good thing because it had a 15-second cooldown, so you can use it very often. This is a 30-second cooldown, but you can deal damage on the target. Next one is the Blinding Light. Emits a dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, causing them to wander disoriented for 6 seconds. It's a 2-minute cooldown, so it's a very long cooldown, but you have a mass stun. You can stun all targets around you within 10 yards and for 6 seconds. So if you're gonna choose this talent, it would be better in like a 5 bracket, in 5-on-5 bracket, or in rated PGs maybe, or in Battlegrounds. This is a very good ability, I think. So next one is the 45 talents. It's like Selfless Healer is a passive. You successful judgment reduce the cast time and mana cost of your next flash of light by 35% and increase its effect on other by 20%. Stacks up to 3 times. So that's the ability. Every time you're gonna judge 3 times, you're gonna get an instant heal. Like a flashlight that's gonna get instant, you can instant click it and instant heal someone. So you don't need to cast it, and if you're gonna use it on other players, you're gonna get an effectiveness of 20% plus. And yeah, that's your healing ability number 1 you should use. So this talent just says us, use your judgment as often as you can. So next one is the Eternal Flame. It costs 1 holy power, is instant, 40-yard range and 1 second cooldown. So consume up to 3 holy power to heal an ally for up to 45,039 and additional 647 every 1.82 seconds for up to 30 seconds. Healing over time increased by 50% when cast on yourself. Replace Word of Glory. So that's your holy power heal. If you're gonna get a lot of damage and you're gonna build up your holy power and do not spend it on damage abilities, you can heal yourself with the holy power. And the main healing ability is Word of Glory, and if you gotta choose this talent, it will remove a Word of Glory and gives you the thing that you can give you the ability to heal you over time. So it heals you at the moment you're gonna cast it on yourself, like you're gonna use it instant on yourself. So it heals you and it gives you additional healing over time. And if you're gonna use it on yourself and not gonna use or spend the holy power on another player, you get an additional 50% increase of healing. So that's a thing. The Eternal Flame is a good thing if you're gonna play this with a glyph. There's a glyph for this ability, or if you're gonna play a Holy Paladin. But as a Retribution Paladin, you need to go damage, and you're gonna want to deal damage. So it's better you go with this talent, because if you're gonna deal damage, you have the opportunity to get an instant heal. So that's very good. The other thing you can choose as a Retribution Paladin is the Sacred Shield. It has 40 yards range, is instant, and has a 6 second cooldown. It protects the target with a shield of Holy Light for 30 seconds, absorbing up to 10,342 damage over 5.46 seconds. Only one target can be affected at a time. So it's some sort of shield, like you have the shield from the priest, the Holy Shield, like it's some sort of this. It's gonna absorbing damage every second, so every 5.46 seconds it's gonna absorb the 10,000 damage. So if you're gonna want to play with this, it's a good defense ability. But like I said, you wanna heal much as a Retribution Paladin, you wanna deal damage and heal a lot of things. So the Selfless Healer is, in my opinion, the best way to go with. And a lot of Retribution Paladins gonna use this. So level 60 talents is the first one is the Hand of Purity. Place a hand on the friendly target, reducing damage taken by 50% and damage over time by an additional 80% for 6 seconds. Players may only have one hand on them per paladin at one time. So it's some sort of reducing a buff like the warrior has. So the warrior needs to charge on a friendly target to reduce the damage it takes. So the paladin can cast it. It has a 30 seconds cooldown and a 40 yard range, and you can reduce damage taken by 50% and damage over time by 80% for 6 seconds. That's a good choice if you want to protect some of your group members, some of the 3S healers, and in the battlegrounds the brackets like the healers or flag carriers, something like that. So next one is the Unbreakable Spirit. It's a passive. It's reduce the cooldown of your Divine Shield, Divine Protection, and Lay on Hands by 50%. So that's 3 abilities. They will support you. Like we have just a look at Divine Shield. Divine Shield is what the fuck? Oh my god. Where is Divine Shield? Oh, it's Divine Protection. What is Divine Shield? So Divine Shield is the bubble of the paladin. Okay, I just missed that. So it's gonna reduce the cooldown by 50%. So Divine Shield, the bubble, has a 5-minute cooldown, so it will be a 2.30 minute cooldown if you're gonna use that. If you use Unbreakable Spirit, I really recommend you to not playing arenas. It's not gonna bring up a lot of things for arenas. The other things is Divine Protection and Lay on Hands. So Lay on Hands is the thing that you're gonna heal up the target at 100% health. That's an ability you can't use in arenas, in battlegrounds. In battlegrounds, maybe yes, in battlegrounds you can use it, but not in arenas. And yeah. So it's not very fortunate to use that in arenas. And the other things is Divine Protection. Divine Protection is the ability which reduces magical damage taken by 40% for 8 seconds. So it's the one and only cooldown you can use for against casters, which gonna reduce the damage you take from casters. So yeah, that's not very good talent if you want to play PvP. That's the thing. Next one is Clemency. Passive. Your hand abilities all now have 2 charges. So my hands abilities in the Retribution Paladin is first of all the Hand of Freedom. Place a hand in the friendly target, granting immunity to movement impairing effects for 6 seconds. Players may only have one hand at the on them per paladin at any one time. So Hand of Freedom is one of these things you can't get slowed by someone. So if a Frost Mage is gonna shoot you, if a Fire Mage is gonna shoot you, if a Hunter is gonna shoot you with snares and slows and stuff like that, you use Hand of Freedom, and for 6 seconds nobody can stop you. Only with a stun. They can stun you in this moment, but they cannot slow you. That's the good thing about Hand of Freedom. And this talent, Glanancy, just give us 2 stacks of it. So we can use it 2 times. We can use it 2 times whenever we want. Just after we use it 2 times, the recharge cooldown just get in. So it's a 25 second recharge, and we can use it 2 times, and then it's gonna take the recharge. The second one hand is the Hand of Protection. Hand of Protection is a bubble, like a sort of bubble you can use on yourself or friendly allies to make them immune to melee attacks, like physical damage. So every time a warrior or a hunter or a monk or stuff like that, a pharaoh druid or all that stuff, which gonna deals physical damage, not magic damage, not the casters. The casters can deal damage to you if you use the Hand of Protection, but all the melee classes cannot deal damage to the player which has Hand of Protection on himself. And Hand of Protection is gonna have a duration of, I don't know, I think for 10 seconds is like 6-7 seconds in arenas. So we're gonna use this because we really want to have 2 charges of the Hand of Protection to receive no damage income if we're gonna get bursted. That's the first one. And the second one, to help our healers or other guys or other players. They are very important in arenas or rated battlegrounds to don't get damage from melees. That's very important. That's one of the most important thing about the Retribution Paladin, the Hand of Protection. Also for Holy Paladins, but for the Retribution Paladin, it's a helpful support ability. So we're gonna go with Clemency. Next one is the 75, level 75 talents. So we have, first of all, we have the Holy Avenger. It's an instant, it's a 2-minute cooldown. Abilities that generates holy power will deal 30% additional damage and healing, and generates 3 charges of holy power for the next 18 seconds. So every time we use an ability that gonna generates holy power, it will deal 30% damage, additional damage to our damage, and it generates 3 charges of holy power and not 1 charge, because every time we use a ability that generates holy power, they're always gonna add 1 holy power to our main resource, and if we're gonna activate this powerful ability, it gonna gives us every time 3 charges. So it's one of our first burst ability to really get a lot of damage out, because every time we have 3 charges, we can use our most important abilities as a Retribution Paladin. So that's very, very important to go with the Holy Avenger. So we have a look at the second ability. It's Sanctified Wrath. Its passive, Avenging Wrath, lasts 50% longer and grants more frequent access to one of your abilities while it lasts. Retribution, reduce Hammer of Wrath cooldown by 50%. So the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath is reduced. So the Hammer of Wrath is our how's it called? It's our execution as a Retribution Paladin. It works like the same like the execute from the warrior is just working, but we can use the Hammer of Wrath if the target has 35% life left. So at the warrior it is about 20%. At the Retribution Paladin it is at 35% health. So, and the first thing is Avenging Wrath lasts 50% longer and grants more frequent access to one of our abilities while it lasts. So it's a increase of Avenging Wrath of 15% longer. So it's a passive. Next one is the Divine Purpose. Word of Glory, Templar's Verdict and Divining Storm have a 25% chance to cause your next Word of Glory or Final Verdict or Divining Storm to consume the holy power, but cost as if 3 were consumed. So we need 3 holy power to use our main abilities as Retribution Paladin, so we need to build up 3 holy power. And this ability just gives us the chance, a 25% chance to not consume the 3 holy power. So probably if we have luck and we have gambling a lot of, so we can use our other abilities twice or 3 times or 4 times, like as often as we have luck. And yeah, that's 2 abilities I would never choose as a Retribution Paladin, because with this ability you can activate something and there is something happen now. Yeah, there are abilities, like I said in the Frost Decay guide, they are gambling abilities. Yeah, you need to have a chance. Yeah, you have a chance to activate this, you have a chance to activate this. So you need to get a lot of luck. And luck is something you don't want to choose as a good PvP player. So we gotta choose the Holy Avenger. Next one are the level 90 talents. First of all, it's the Holy Prism. A beam of light turns the target into a holy prism. An enemy target takes 19,372 holy damage and radiates 19,372 healing to 5 nearby allies within 15 yards. A friendly target is healed for 25,827 and radiates 14,527 holy damage to 5 nearby enemies within 15 yards. That's a very cool ability you can choose from, because if you just use it on an ally, a friendly ally, it's gonna heal him up and deal every target around damage. Yeah. And the other thing, if you're gonna use it on a target, on an enemy player, you're gonna deal him damage and you're gonna heal everyone around you from the friendly allies. That's a cool thing. Yeah, but it's not very useful in arenas, because in arenas the most people you can have is like 5 players, but they will never stand in 15 yards range every time close to someone. So it's not very effectiveness. The effectiveness of this ability is not given every time. So you're not gonna choose it. It's a cool thing, but you're not gonna choose this. Next one is the Light's Hammer. It is a 1-minute cooldown, it's instant, it hurls a light infused hammer into the ground, where it blasts a 10-yard radius every 2 seconds for 14 seconds. Each blast deals 5,555 holy damage to enemies, reduce enemies' movement speed by 50% for 2 seconds, and heals up to 6 allies for 4,326. And as we can see at these abilities, at least, every ability is now gonna work with, you're gonna deal damage to someone and you're gonna heal someone. And that's the playstyle of Retribution Paladin. You can heal and damage all the time. You have this ability to heal a lot of, and you have this ability to deal very strong damage. And that's how we play this class. And that's the thing why we're gonna use versatility in this build. Because versatility is increasing our damage and increasing our healing. And that's the thing we're gonna need with this playstyle. And yeah, Light's Hammer is a funny ability. You can throw a hammer to a ground in a radius, and everyone is gonna stand inside. It's gonna get some healing, and every target it's gonna stand inside, it will get damage, and it's gonna have a 50% reduced movement speed. If you're gonna want to use this, it's good, but it's really not really recommended, because someone can run out of the radius, or probably your allies are not able to move inside this area. So yeah, I would never gonna use this in PvP, because PvP the players are always running around, so you're never gonna use this effectively. Next one is the Execution Sentence. The Execution Sentence has 40 yards range and 1-minute cooldown. It's an instant. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing 50,674 holy damage over 10 seconds. Damage increase over time, culminating in a final burst. Dispelling the effect triggers the final burst. Stay of Execution On a friendly target, the Felling Hammer heals for 1747 over 9 seconds. This healing is a large burst at first and then it decreases over time. So like I said, it's healing and damage, like always in the Retribution skill tree. So if I'm gonna use this on a target, he will get slowly damage over time, and after 10 seconds there will come a final burst on the target and it will get 50,000 damage at least after this dot is gonna expire. So that's very good for our burst. So it's a magic effect. If someone gonna decline it, like someone is dispelling it, like the healer just dispel it, the final moment is just triggering. So if the healer is gonna dispel this ability, he will get instant 50,000 holy damage, instant. And if you're gonna use this on an ally, it will get a really hard healing burst. Like if I'm gonna use this on my friend in the arena or stuff like that, he will get 107,000 or he would get a burst, and after it he will get heal over 9 seconds, but it will always decreases over time. So at first the heal is gonna stay up, and after it will every time it will get fall down. So at first he starts with 10k at the first second, and then it will come 8k and 9k, 7k and 5k and 4k, and at least it will heal with 2k, and then it's over. So that's the thing. I would really choose this ability because it's you can choose it on a target. It's some sort of dot you have as a Retribution Paladin, and you never can go wrong with it, however you use it. So the level 100 talents are following. Empowered Seals is a passive. Your seals also cause your judgment to empower you with additional benefits effect which persists through changing seals. Judgment of Justice. Increase movement speed by 20% for 20 seconds. Judgment of Insight heals you for 2% of your maximum health every 3 seconds for 21 seconds. Judgment of Righteousness is increasing your haste by 20% for 20 seconds. And Judgment of the Truth increase your attack power by 50% for 20 seconds. So however you use your seals, you have a lot of seals as a paladin, so you can see them here. It's the Seal of Truth, the Seal of Retribution, Seal of Justice, and the Seal of Insight. So all these seals have other abilities. As a Retribution Paladin, you just really use the Seal of Truth, because every time you do damage on your target, you have a chance to stack up a dot on the target, which one deals additional holy damage over time. That's the thing, the damage thing of a Retribution Paladin. And the other one is Seal of Justice, with Seal of Justice, which gonna have the effect that you deal additional holy damage with your strikes and decrease the movement speed of the target by 50% if you're gonna charge him. And the Empowered Seals gonna help you up with disabilities. So you have by the Truth you have increased your attack power by 15%, and with the Insight, or with the Justice, was it Justice? Yes. With the Justice you have movement speed increased by 20%, but you don't need to increase your movement speed because you always have increased movement speed with this ability. So next one is the Seraphim. It costs 5 holy power, it's 30-second cooldown. The light empowerally magnifies your power, increase your haste, critical strike, mastery, multi-strike, and versatility by 1000 for 15 seconds. So that's a very good thing. The bad thing on this is it costs 5 holy power. That's that's a lot of holy power you need to spend for this ability. And the other thing is, for 15 seconds you increase haste, critical strike, mastery, multi-strike, and versatility by 1000. So that's a lot of attributes you're gonna power up with this. but you don't need to forget that this temporarily magnifies your power. So that means one of these abilities is gonna increase yourself. So it's some sort of gambling effect. So like I said, in PvP we don't want to gamble and we don't want to spend the one ability 5 holy power. That's too hard. Next one is the final verdict. It's 10 yards range, 3 holy power, and it is instant. Empowers your weapon with holy energy and performs a devastation strike, dealing 29,422 holy damage. Also increase the damage of your next divine storm by 100% and increase the radius by 50%. Replaces Templar's Verdict. So it's some sort of empowered verdict. That's your that's your main ability for dealing damage with when you have 3 holy power. So if you're gonna build up 3 holy power, you use this ability, and after this you want to use the Winding Storm. The Winding Storm is the ability for the AoE damage, but this ability just replaces the Templar's Verdict. And if you're gonna use it, and after it we have a free holy power up, we're gonna use the Winding Storm, because the Winding Storm is just hit him so hard, because it gets 100% additional damage, and the radius is also increased by 50%. So it's a large radius damage dealing effect after we use the final verdict. So I don't think there is a better boost in damage like this ability, because the Winding Storm get increased by 100% damage, and that's too hard. That's the thing you want to go with. So, like I said, the perfect setup I just found for the Retribution Paladin is like Pursuit of Justice, Fist of Justice, Selfless Healer, Clemency, the Holy Avenger, the Execution Sentence, and the Final Verdict. Use this tree and play a little bit around it, and just try the other abilities in battlegrounds and arenas and stuff like that. You will find your own perfect setup, but if you're gonna use this setup, you are good to go. You can easily kick some asses with this. And yeah, I hope I just find out with you guys why you just use these abilities in PvP and arena. And next one we have Glyphs from the Retribution Paladin. And I hope you guys will enjoy it, and we're gonna see us at the Glyphs. So thank you very much. Hey guys, welcome back to the Glyphs of a Retribution Paladin. So let's just start. Let's just start with the glyphs I'm using at the moment in my build. So first of all is the glyph of Hand of Freedom. So we talked a little bit about the Hand of Freedom before. So Hand of Freedom immediately reduce the remaining duration of all effects which cause loss of control of your character by 25%. Any additional loss of control effects applied within 4 seconds have 25% reduced duration. So every time I'm using my Hand of Freedom like this, oh, that was the wrong ability, it's like this one. Every time I'm under the effect of my Hand of Freedom, the duration of losing controlling effects on myself is reduced by 25%, and like I just said, in the 2-set bonus we have this effect that we just have a 25% reduced loss of control of our character, and with this we're gonna boost it to 50%. And yeah, it's just good to go, because reduce losing controlling effects of my character is very important in arenas and battlegrounds. So the Hand of Freedom will become a really important thing to you or yourself or your allies in arenas, battlegrounds and stuff like that. The next one, major glyph, is the glyph of the Burden or Gilet. So your judgment hits fill your target with doubt and remorse, reducing movement speed by 50% for 2 seconds. So every time I'm just use my judgment on the target, the movement speed is decreased by 50% for 2 seconds. So he gets a short slow. So that's very important, because if I'm gonna use my burst on it, I really want him not to run away or run around, stuff like that. So I'm just gonna start my fight with my judgment to keep him in place. And this ability is very discussed into other players, because every time I'm using judgment, every 5 seconds, the player is gonna slow up. And as a Retribution Paladin, you need to switch your seals you have to the Seal of Justice, because the Seal of Justice just removes the movement speed of your target by for 8 seconds if you're gonna use your seal, but you want to deal damage, so you use the Seal of Truth for stacking up our damage debuff on the target, and use my judgment to slow him down every 5 seconds. Next one is the Glyph of Templar's Verdict. Templar's Verdict is you take 10% less damage for 6 seconds after dealing damage with Templar's Verdict or Exorcism. So Templar's Verdict is our damage first main holy power damage ability, which we're gonna spam on the target if it's ready. So if I'm gonna use this ability, I get a 10% less damage reduction for 6 seconds. So that's very important as a Retribution Paladin, because you don't have any cooldowns you can use to don't take a lot of damage. So we need to glyph this for a damage reduction with our damage abilities. So that's the major glyphs. The other glyphs, the minor glyphs, are not very glyphs that gonna improve yourself with something. I'm just using the Seal of Truth that used Seal of Blood visual, so it looks like this. That's the blood illusion. The next one is the Judgment of the Hammer of Wrath. Critical calls down fire from the sky. So if I'm gonna execute someone, or if I'm gonna use my judgment on the target, there's a possibility that there's a visual strike from the sky on the target. It looks awesome. Next is your Avenging Wrath. This depicts 4 wings. So if I'm using my Avenging Wrath, it always has 2 wings of an angel, and with this glyphs it has 4 wings. It looks like better, but it's not very important. So let's have a look at the glyphs we can also use. It also gives a glyph for the Avenging Wrath. If I'm gonna activate my Avenging Wrath, I'm gonna heal 1% every 4 seconds. So that's not very much, and we're gonna use Avenging Wrath for something other, not for get 1% health every 4 seconds. So Blessed Life is you have 50% chance to gain a charge of holy power whenever you are affected by a stun, fear or mobilized effect. So if you play a 3 or 5 bracket and you will get a lot of stunned or a lot of CC'd, you can use this glyph to get a lot of holy power to dealing damage or heal your allies, whatever. Next one is the version of Glyph. We have this already in our build. The Divining Protection is the ability, the cooldown to reduce the magic damage on ourselves. And if you're gonna use this glyph, 20% of the magic damage is lost, and we get additional 20% physical damage reduction. So we're gonna split it. So if you don't use this glyph, you have 40% damage reduction of magical effects, and if you're gonna use this glyph, you have 20% damage reduction from magic effects and 20% damage reduction from physical damage. So that's very important glyph if you're gonna play 2S bracket or something like that. And there are two melees, so you don't need to reduce your magic damage. You can use this glyph to reduce the physical damage from melees. Next one is the Divine Shield. Removing harmful effects with Divine Shields heals you for 7% of each effect removed. This heal cannot extract 35% of your maximum health. So you can maximum heal yourself 35% if you use Divine Shield. So if you're gonna get bursted down with a lot of effects on yourself, you use this glyph. So you use Divine Shield, your bubble, and you get instantly 35% maximum health restored after using it. Next one is the Divining Storm. The Divining Storm also heals you for 14,000 health. So every time you use Divining Storm, it's your damage AoE spell for free holy power. You're gonna get healed yourself. Next one is the Divinity. Increase the cooldown of your Lay on Hands by 2 minutes, but cause it give you up 10% of your maximum mana. Yeah, that's a thing you're never gonna use in PvP. Because Lay on Hands is an ability you can't use in arenas and stuff like that. So yeah, I would not recommend you to do this. Double Jeopardy is like judging a target increase the damage of your next judgment by 20%, but only if you used a different second target. So if I'm gonna use my judgment, it gonna deal his damage, and if I'm gonna use it after 5 seconds on the other target, it will deal 20% additional damage. But in arena sometimes you're gonna burst one target down, so it will not affect if you're gonna just judge one target and gonna switch on the other target. Then you can probably use this glyph. Flash of Light. When you Flash of Light a target, it increases your next heal down to the target within 7 seconds by 10%. Flash of Light is something like you would choose for a healer, because it gonna improves your heals on the same target if you use it twice. But as a Retribution Paladin, you don't have the situation that you use Flash of Light in 7 seconds on the same target in such a fast situation. So next one is the Hand of Freedom we had already in our build. And next one is the Immediate Truth. Increase the instant damage done by Seal of Truth by 30%, but decrease the damage done by Sensory by 50%. So you get a higher damage, directly damage buff if you use the Seal. The Seal is the main seal you use as a Retribution Paladin, but the overtime effect is reduced by 50%. So you don't do a lot of damage over time, but you do a lot of damage directly to the target if you're gonna attack him. So that's one of the glyphs you can use if you want to, but I really recommend you to use the overtime dot to deal damage if he's gonna run away, or if the target is gonna kiting you, so you have also damage on the target, so that's very good. Judgment is increasing range judgment by 10 yards. So Judgment is the ability you want to use as a Retribution Paladin all the time if it's up. So increase the range of Judgment is not very important because you are melee, so you want to stay in range. Templar's Verdict is the ability we have already in our build. Next one is the Word of Glory. Increase your damage by 3% per holy power spent after you cast Word of Glory or Eternal Flame on friendly target. So that's Word of Glory. That's the ability you want to use as a heal paladin, because you can easily increase the damage of your healing targets. If you heal someone in your party, you increase also their damage if you're gonna heal him with Word of Glory. So that's okay. That's very important as a healer. So the other abilities I'm not gonna read out because I never bite them, so I never used it. So if you want to choose these talents or these abilities, you're gonna need to find a way to play it. The other are for protection and holy paladins, and the minor glyphs. The minor glyphs are the most way the minor glyphs are going for style and stuff like that, so they're never gonna improve your playstyle. So that's it with the glyphs, and at least we're gonna come to the playstyle of a Retribution Paladin. So I'm gonna show you the important things of how to play a Retribution Paladin in different situations. So I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. So we're gonna see us, and yeah, bye. Hey guys, what's up? So welcome to the last part of my guide to the Retribution Paladin. So I want to check with you guys the core abilities from Blizzard in the book, in the spell book. So I'm gonna start keep your head. So we have at first the Crusader Strike. The Crusader Strike is an instant strike that costs 14,768 physical damage and grants 1 holy power. Use when available, generates 1 holy power. So it's some sort of generator for our holy power that we need to kinda use the very important abilities as a Retribution Paladin. Next one is our Judgment, causes 8,871 holy damage and generates 1 holy power, requires an active seal to cast. So seals are the things we just talked before. It's some sort of stance like the warrior has. Yeah, Judgment is the ability we every time want to use when it's ready, because it has a very high effectiveness to other abilities, and it also generates 1 holy power. Next one is the Temple's Verdict. It costs 3 holy power. It's an instant, a powerful weapon strike that deals 29,426 physical damage. So this ability is replaced by our Final Verdict, and Final Verdict, if you're gonna use it, it increases our Divining Storm damage by 100% and the radius by 50%. We're gonna always use this ability if we have 3 holy power generated, but it is different in every situation we have in the fight, because if we can see that we're gonna go low on health, or if we're gonna see our mates are going low on health, as a Retribution Paladin you always have the chance to heal your allies and help them out. So you can use your 3 holy powers instead of dealing damage with the Word of Glory, like the ability I'm having here, to consume the 3 holy power to heal a friendly target for 34,091. Next one is the Exorcism. Blast the target with holy light, causing 10,887 holy damage and generates 1 holy power. Your other attacks have a 20% chance to resetting the cooldown of your Exorcism. So it has 30 yards range, it has a 13.7 second cooldown. So if we're gonna use this ability and we want to deal damage to far away targets, and every time we're gonna hit a target with our auto attacks, we have probably the chance to resetting the cooldown of this ability. Next one is the Hammer of Wrath. Hurls a magical hammer that strikes an enemy for 16,737 holy damage and generates a charge of holy power, only usable on enemies that have 20% or less health or during Avenging Wrath. Avenging Wrath is the ability that gonna boost ourselves, our abilities. Every time we're gonna use them, we're gonna generate 3 holy power, not 1 holy power. And Hammer of Wrath is our execute. So we want to use that ability if the target is low health. And the Seal of Truth is fills you with holy light, causing melee attacks to deal 1,477 additional holy damage and apply Sensory at the target. Sensory deals 431 additional holy damage over 15 seconds, stack up 5 times. So we have additional damage dealing with our attacks, and stack up a dot on the target, which can stack up 5 times. Every time it ticks, it's gonna deal additional holy damage on the target. So with these abilities, we're gonna start with our rotation. So I'm gonna close my spell book, and first of all, before we're gonna do something, I'm gonna show you my macros. Let me just check here. So the one and only macro I'm just gonna show in this guide is my Avengers Wrath macro, which you can see here using 2 abilities. First is the Avenging Wrath, and second is the Holy Avenger. And the third one I'm gonna use in this macro is my trinket from my character. It's the Warmongering Gladiator's Badge of Victory, which one increases my versatility by 1,160 for 20 seconds. And I want to use this because I'm gonna boost my cooldowns with it. So that's an ability or that's a macro you really should use as a Retribution Paladin to get a lot of damage dealing in the next 10-15 seconds. Yeah, so just try to use Avenging Wrath and Holy Avenger in the same way, together with boosting your trinket, and you will see you will get so much damage output. It's amazing, and that's why we're gonna call it the one-shot macro, or one-shot damage dealing Retribution Paladin. So because if we're gonna use these abilities together, we have so much, every time in the next 15 seconds we have full holy power, and we can spam our main abilities to dealing a lot of damage. So how this looks like is, I've just binded my one-shot macro on a key binding, and I'm gonna start first. I'm gonna activate my one-shot macro, and you can see at the bottom down here on my about my life, there is the holy power I can using 5 holy powers at one time, and so if I'm gonna use all my cooldowns, it will boost it up all the time to 5 stacks if I'm using an ability. So first of all, I'm gonna use my cooldowns at the start of a fight, and then I'm gonna instantly use my execution sentence on the target. So it will deal overtime damage, and after 9 seconds it will deal a final burst damage. So that's very important. After this one, I'm gonna go with Judgment, because Judgment really just stacks up 1 second to use my Flash of Light for healing. After 3 times I'm using Judgment, I can use my Flash of Light for healing. And after this, I'm always just using Hammer of Wrath, because if I'm using Avenging Wrath, I can use my Hammer of Wrath at 100% life of the target, and so it's some sort of execute, and it deals a lot of damage. If the target is casting or running around, I'm using my Fist of Justice to stun him, and then I can just try to spam my Final Verdict on the target with free holy power. And after I used my Final Verdict, probably I get a proc from Divining Storm and boost it with 100% damage, and with the proc damage, because as a Retribution Paladin in Warlords of Draenor, you get the ability that you can proc your Divining Storm for a free cast, so it does not consume any holy power. That's OP. So I'm gonna try to do this at this target. So like I said, I'm gonna boost up my cooldowns, then I'm gonna use Execution, this, Hammer of Wrath, the free cast, and every time in the same rotation. So as you can see right now, I have my Flash of Light ready because I have 3 stacks up there, Selfless Healer, so I'm gonna use it instant on myself and gonna get a heal. And yeah, that's the thing about the Retribution Paladin. After your cooldowns just have a cooldown and just are on a resetting timer, there's the thing that the Retribution Paladin is not really deal a lot of damage in this time, because he needs so long for building up holy power, because he always gets with his main abilities only 1 stack. So this is ridiculous, because I get 4 Divining Storm free casts at one time. So that was very awesome. So that's the thing you just want to use as a Retribution Paladin. So after you use your cooldowns, there will become the low-down circle, where you just really want to stay alive, just boost yourself with execution, just heal yourself, or just give yourself lay on hands. Not lay on hands, it's a hand of protection, and stay alive till you get your CCs back, your cooldowns back. And after you get your cooldowns back, you just instantly go again and gonna boost or try to boost him down. So that's it. that's it about the Retribution Paladin and the playstyle and stuff like that. So just play a Retribution Paladin, try out, let me know what you think about the Retribution Paladin and what they are good for, how much DPS you just got in arenas and stuff like that, and what's your rating at the moment, and how you gonna do good in arenas, and what's your combination and stuff like that. You just easily can leave this under this video. So I'm really thankful for watching my second guide on YouTube, and I hope I just helped you out with some sort of stuff. And if there are any questions, just leave a comment below. And I would really recommend you guys, if you're gonna leave a thumbs up on this video, if you just enjoyed it. So yeah, the next guide I'm just gonna bring is a Affliction Warlock guide. So we're gonna have a look at the Affliction Warlocks. And I really enjoyed the time with you guys, and thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.